Hey there, this is Lynn. Today is Monday, November the 4th, 2024. Happy Monday. And I've just completed 75 weeks on the carnivore diet. And this was a confusing week for me. So I'm really curious to see what your feedback is. It's probably nothing to be concerned about because it never ends up being anything to be concerned about. But I'm just curious about this week. And again, I always have theories because I analyze. But anyways, I did do my weigh-in this morning. It was not exactly what I was hoping. It was really interesting because this week my family kept commenting that I'm looking thinner. My scale is not reflecting that. So it might be time to do some measurements again. Although it's been so long since I've done measurements, it might be difficult to really gauge like what's going on now, because I'm sure that the measurements are much smaller than they were last time I took them. But I think I'll wait until I hit 18 months. This past Tuesday, I hit the 17-month anniversary of being on the carnivore diet. And I've got some interesting things to share this week. I did go see my naturopathic doctor. So now I have two naturopathic doctors. I have one who I see for my mast activation syndrome, and then I have a second naturopathic doctor who I'm seeing more as a primary care doctor. But she also specializes in mold issues, mycotoxins. And so we had a very interesting meeting. I did I'd mentioned before that I had I downloaded my raw data from ancestry.com for my genetic testing, and then I uploaded it to Strategene and came out with 35 variants. But I met with her and we didn't go over the whole report because it's just really long, but she did hone in on the fact that I have like 7 variants in the glutathione pathway. And I do have the MTHFR variant. And so because I have had issues with mycotoxins, she suspects that it's because of all of these variants I have in my glutathione pathway and the MTHFR variant. And so I'm probably going to have to possibly stay on an oral glutathione supplement. I really, really hope that makes up the difference for me as far as how I feel in my sinuses, my ears, my eyes, get rid of the mycotoxins in my body. And I never want to imply even that eating the carnivore diet cures everything. I mean, if we were all genetically beautiful and we didn't have these different variants that are expressing themselves due to the epigenetics, due to the fact that they get triggered to express themselves based on environment and what we eat. But sometimes we have to go through and address other things from a different perspective. The carnivore diet has brought me 95% to where I need to be with my health. My mast activation syndrome is so well controlled now. My rosacea is now amazing. My skin looks amazing. I'm very pleased after all of those years of having the most horrible rosacea. My weight is improving, and my joint pain is mostly gone if I don't sit too much. But anyways, I don't want to pretend like some people may need to go a different route, not a different route, but add on other therapies. And so I don't know if I'm going to have to stay on the glutathione forever. I'm going to have to talk to her about this, or is this something that can be corrected and those genes stop expressing the way that they have been and I start to actually clear mold better. We shall see. But anyways, before I proceed, I do want to make sure, if any of you who don't know this, I am very, very involved in the Healing Humanity documentary project. And in particular, recently, I have been very involved in their new membership site. It hasn't officially launched as far as official. We've been in beta testing, but anyone can join regardless of whether we haven't officially launched yet. And I am, along with Adam Lacey from Carnivore Today, I am one of the site administrators. And so I'm super excited about it. I'm really looking forward to having an opportunity to get to know people much better in this great community. The goal is for it to be the one-stop shop for everything carnivore. We have courses, we have all sorts of different groups, we have a great community, we have Zoom calls, and yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's just going to get better and better. So I actually have a message from our good friend, Kerry Mann.
Hey everyone, Kerry here, and you are currently watching one of my favorite YouTube channels. So great job, but if you need just a little bit more inspiration on your healing journey, we have a new membership site that I'm excited to share with the world. It is at healinghumanity.life. There is a link with a special promo code offer in the description below. At our membership site, you can be inspired to find a path to healing. We have courses that you can take at your own pace. We have an amazing community. We do multiple Zoom calls per week. We even bring in the good doctors, experts for your Q&As. Most of all, we have an amazing community that's here to support you, keep you motivated, and keep you inspired. Learn more at the link in the description below, healinghumanity.life.
All right. So let me see what else I have to cover as far as this week. Oh, I got a walking pad, and I got it on sale. I'd only spent a little over $100 for it. And it was kind of cool because finally I don't have to worry about the maximum weight, because before I started on the carnivore diet, my top weight was about 350 pounds. But when I started on the carnivore diet, I was about 340. And the maximum weight limit for this walking pad is 330. And I didn't even need to bother worrying about it because I'm like 100 pounds down from that. So that's awesome. But I've been spending some time on it. For those of you who follow Lindy and I on our fitness challenge, we are doing a step challenge this next 4 weeks. And one of the reasons why we want to do a step challenge, and the reason I wanted to, is because my doctor told me I needed to get more steps. He wants me to try to get at least 8,000 steps a day. And man, do I struggle. And on nice days, it's okay to go out and walk, but one walk doesn't necessarily make up for a lot of sitting. And so having the walking pad, I can get up even every hour and spend a few minutes on it and get some steps in, and I don't have to keep going out and taking walks around the block. I can just quickly hop on and do it at home. So I'm pretty excited about that. I do have a video for you about that as well.
Oh.
All right, so I got my new walking pad. I have a step challenge that Lindy and I are doing for the next 4 weeks, and my goal is to do what my doctor said and get at least 8,000 steps a day. Today's a beautiful day, but we are going into winter, and so hopefully this walking pad is going to help. This is a Yemso brand. Sounds kind of Japanese. Y-E-M-S-O. But let's see. So far I've gotten, let me see how many steps. 3,400, almost 3,500 steps in for today. Trying to get the balance thing figured out and get my stride worked out. And but so far so good. I can adjust the speed, figure out what my pace needs to be. All right, so that's me on the walking pad. I have really trying to get the whole balance thing figured out and figure out the best stride in order to not fall off of that thing. But I think I'm getting it, and figuring out what speed is comfortable for me and going a little bit higher because I want to get my heart rate up. So anyways, I will probably be filming more, and I don't know if I'm ever going to run on that thing, but it's good to have something to walk on. So that's awesome. I have been wondering though, like if I'm just too sedentary. My lifestyle is pretty much an indoor lifestyle because I am retired and I don't have a massive social life. I'm kind of an introvert, and I don't have a ton of people that I go and spend time with. I do hang out with my daughter, but I'm really, really an introvert at heart. And so I'm trying to incorporate more exercise just into my lifestyle. And that may mean getting out there more and going and doing things more. And yeah, it's just more growth that I need. There's all these areas that I still need lots of growth in, and this is definitely one of them. So one of the other things that my doctor said is that my body is not utilizing the folate that I have been taking. And so she ordered a different form of the folate, and she said my B vitamins are not optimal where she would like them to be. And so it's a combination product. It's called homocysteine supreme. She did check my homocysteine levels and they were elevated. But she said that she wasn't alarmed based on what she knows about me. And also I got the blood test done like 10 days after the beginning of the flu that I had. So there's probably still some inflammation going on. My C-reactive protein levels have always been very high. I mean, really high. And sometimes, like, if I've seen it as high as 25, but the last time I had it tested on the carnivore diet, it was still 16. And now, this last time, despite having the flu, it was down to 6. And so she's, again, with the C-reactive protein test, which is a generalized inflammatory marker test, she was like, I would have been really alarmed if I didn't know your situation and the fact that I was coming off of the flu. And despite coming off the flu, also my ferritin levels were down from where they were the last time I had them checked. So a lot of these inflammatory markers are trending in the right direction, and I'm really anxious to see what happens next time I get them tested, because this time the doctor agrees we're still a little elevated because of having the flu pretty recently before I had that test done. So hopefully next time, maybe in a few months, we'll be able to check again and see how they're doing. And now that I'm getting these supplements that genetically right now I need, I'm really anxious to see what happens and to see if the lagging symptoms that I'm having will clear up. I have good energy. Sorry, I froze up there for a second. But I have good energy, but I don't have nearly the energy that other carnivores talk about. Okay, so my energy could be better. Might be from the mold, might be because of the fact that I have these pathways in my body that aren't functioning well because of these genetic variations that I have, and I'm not utilizing some of the nutrients like I should. My iron stores are good, so she wasn't really concerned about that. She tested them because of the fact that my ferritin levels were elevated last time, but she said my iron is good, it's within normal range, and she's happy with it. So I feel like I need just some tweaking. And I'm at this phase in the process where I think these little tweaks are going to really show me if it's a dietary issue, why I'm still having issues with my sinuses, my ears, my energy, maybe the trouble sleeping. My sleep is, the flu just threw me back off my sleep schedule. I had just gotten my sleep schedule all worked out, and the flu threw me off. And so I'm back to where I need to really clamp down and get my sleep schedule back on track. So there's so many things that go into energy levels, but mitochondrial repair too takes time. And I know that I just need to be very patient. It hasn't even been 2 years yet. And given the lifetime of abuse that my body took with the horrific eating and all of the illnesses, the chronic disease, the depression, the anxiety, the just garbage lifestyle, it's not going to turn over that quickly. So I am in it for the long haul, regardless to what my scale says, regardless to how I may feel 1 week versus another week. Again, like I've said many times, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the first year to maybe a little over a year, I had very, very steady progress and didn't have as many of the ups and downs. Now I'm in a phase where I have more little ups and downs. And so I think that's normal. I hear that from people all the time. And so just going to plug through and investigate and work with my naturopathic doctors and fine tune what I'm doing so that I can have an optimal health. And she told me her goal is for me to have optimal health. I have never, for as long as I can recall, had even close to optimal health. I'm as closer now than I've been my entire adult life. So I'm so looking forward to getting further as far as reaching optimal health. I don't really know what that feels like, to be honest. I don't know what that will look like for me, and I'm so excited to find out. I can't wait. Okay, so let's go to my results. So I weighed in this morning at 232.6, which is 0.6 up on the scale. No big deal, right? 0.6. Nothing really to be concerned about. But I was a little interested in the fact that I actually lost some muscle and bone. So I'm not 100% sure if that's something I need to be concerned about. I never draw conclusions just based on one set of metrics. That's not a trend. But my bone mass and my muscle mass have been pretty steady lately, and they have been increasing. And so to see a little drop makes me wonder if I am just not using my muscles enough. I have been going a little crazy again with my crocheting. I am learning how to crochet garments. I have been crocheting pretty much my whole adult life, and really, like, probably the last 15 years or so, I've been crocheting more than I did when I was younger. But I learned to crochet when I was about 7 or 8 years old from my grandmother. And then after she passed away and I got to be a little bit older, I taught myself. I kind of picked up where she left off, and I taught myself how to crochet. And this was long before the internet. I got a book and I looked at pictures and I read the descriptions of what to do and taught myself. It's so much easier now. There's so many great tutorials out there and so many channels, crochet channels. My husband was calling me grandma because I crochet, and I said, hey, wait a minute. So many young women crochet, and men crochet. And he's like, okay. And so I went on to Reddit and I looked up men crocheting, and I read to him all these comments from men about the crochet and knit. It's not just crocheting, and how much they enjoy it, and it's relaxing, and it's good for their mental health. And one man said he loves it because he always has gifts to give people. And that's one thing I like about it too, is that I always make extra things like hats and scarves, and I always have gifts to give people, and people love getting homemade gifts. So anyways, I have been learning how to crochet garments. After all these years of crocheting, I have not crocheted garments. So I actually crocheted a sweater, and it turned out pretty good considering I watched a video and didn't use a pattern. I just kind of looked at how it was on me. It doesn't. I probably won't do that again until I do more of these. But I just need to sew the buttons on that. But I started another sweater, and I am following the pattern carefully. And I'm a little obsessed because I can't wait to see how it turns out. And so I have been spending a lot more time sitting. So, the results probably are a reflection of that. So, anyways, my fat-free body weight had been hanging out at 125.2, and it came down by 0.2. And so my visceral fat is the same, which is fine, but my muscle mass, I dropped 0.2. My bone mass, I dropped 0.2, which I'm not happy about. And my metabolic rate was at 1597. It had been hanging out like 1595 for a long time. It just suddenly dropped to 1593. And I walked almost every day this past week. So, yeah, it may be that I'm not using my muscles. Let me know what you think. But I'm suspecting that that's probably the case. I mean, this crocheting works these muscles, but the rest of the muscles don't really get worked. Okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm probably to sedentary. That needs to change. All right, stupid metabolic age is going to be 63 until I get these other metrics in line. So overall for the week, my scale had me up by 0.6. My fat-free body weight went down by 0.2. So that means my actual fat gain this week was 0.8 of a pound. I will lose that and it'll come back off. Again, muscle was down by 0.2, bone was down by 0.2. So that means that the 0.2 decrease in fat-free body weight was there because I must have had about 0.2 of water. I add the muscle, the bone, and fill in fluid to make it equal whatever my fat-free body weight changes. If you want to know how I do that, I have a video that shows how I do these calculations. But overall, since the beginning, end of May of 2023, I have lost 107 pounds on the scale. I have gained 26.8 pounds of good tissue. So that means my fat loss overall is 133.8 pounds. So all is good. I'm not going to worry about one little tiny blip on the scale. I have forever commented and stated that the scale is not guiding me. It's not creating, I'm not going to let it create distress for me. I just use it as a tool, and I use these metrics as a tool to help me figure out like what I need to do. So if I had just, for example, if I had just saw that, okay, I gained 0.6 pounds, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's probably an anomaly. But the fact that I lost some muscle and bone helps me see that I need to use my muscles more. And so if I didn't have the scale, I would probably not be thinking in those terms. And so that's really helpful. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much. And oh, by the way, I have been really, really lax on responding to comments, but I did spend time yesterday trying to get somewhat caught up with responding to your comments. I do so appreciate them. And I reminded myself yesterday when I was going through the comments how much I appreciate them. And I don't ever want to get so far behind like I have. I've just been so busy, and I've just been a little bit distracted, I guess, but this needs to be priority, because the feedback that I have received from you guys over the months and months and months that I've been doing this has been absolutely pivotal as far as me staying motivated and feeling connected with the carnivore community. So I really appreciate the comments, and hopefully I'm gonna make sure that I have, I'm not lazy about them anymore, and I don't put it off, and I get in there and I dig in there and I read your comments, and I find them to be so helpful. So many ideas. I don't know all the answers. You guys come up with stuff that I would never come up with. So I really appreciate it. Okay, that's it for this week. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.